Like, what is this, you know? It's a dark world.
Can't believe he said why. Yeah, oh my God.
Enjoying the great distraction circus, are you?
It's called Breuer's Bunker.
And I have these conversations with my higher power.
Monty's really funny.
Tall and in shape is always funny.
She goes, I love that you can't see Mike.
Yeah, I mean, it's upsetting.
You got hairs on your body you didn't know existed.
What are you, in the bathroom?
Dude, I'm not going to listen to Pauly Shore.
Just Jim Breuer telling a silly story.
This is going to be a doozy. Someone wishing me to die. What am I missing?
Media fast.
Sometimes I fill with rage. Isn't that weird? Isn't that crazy? In my opinion, you're sick. Your ass is twisted.
The way they first come out with things is for your safety.
And she's doing this. Oh my God, here comes the moped kid. So this freaking alarm's going off. I'm just peeking.
Does your sister still cut hair?
And I lost my shit.
Not cool. Oh my God. What the hell's going on right now? What?
That's just silly. I'm under a spell.
How did we get to this?
Because of my,
Let me just tell you something. Spread love, spread joy. There's so much more to your existence. Everyone has a gift. It's a beautiful thing.
Like, I have nothing to sell you right here.
I just know I have a little bit of a bunker today. I'm very excited. Are you stoked? I'm just spewing blah, blah, blah. Drives me nuts. You all right?
Who prepares for that? We're polluted even more. We were full-blown little rascals. I'm gonna make you cry. So with that said, and just be aware. What does that mean? This is real.
Allegedly.
It's good guys, bad guys. What are you gonna do about it? We all have to realize. I have no clue what you're talking about. Things are changing quick.
It's just conversation.
Get out of the matrix.
You want this? Let's figure things out.
If you don't mind me asking,
Do you understand?
this stuff right here.
We're going to get to it.
Oh my God. Is this really going down? Be careful, everyone. Today's intense.
Okay.
Yes.
I now see this on a whole different level.
Jim is not with us today.
The whole country should know about this. How sick is going to be the alien invasion. Whoa, wow.
Let's talk about this. This is the very last time ever in the closet.
Dude, are you seriously wedging right now?
Let's be honest. See you next time on the Breuniverse. My God, Mike. Welcome to the 100th episode of the podcast called the Breuniverse.
Wow, that's crazy.
This is we've never been live.
Yeah, this is the first.
And we are we are live in Sarasota at the Art Ovation Hotel. And Katie from Knockout Productions, and all of us are part of the True Brew Weekend. We have a lot to get into. We have friends here coming in today. We have Shaka coming up here and Joe Sib, but I thought one of the coolest things today in Sarasota, we went to St. Armand's Circle to look for. I have like my favorite. I don't know if you guys know Sarasota very well. How you doing? And they have this Greek restaurant there, and I'd go there and then went there. It was closed. I don't know if they're closed for good. So we went to another place, and as we're coming out, these two ladies walk up to Mike, and they go, "Oh my God, it's Mike the sound guy." and they're going, "So, why did you move to St. Augustine, Florida?" And Mike's face, he's going, "I'm sorry, who are you?" There's a reason why Mike doesn't like being seen when you watch him on the podcast. You only see the back of his head, which is more fascinating that they knew who you were. Maybe they're.
I was amazed. I was like, how do you recognize someone from the back of their head? That's crazy. I wasn't even wearing a hat. It was no hat, nothing.
Your face was priceless. And then he's like, I'm sorry. What? He said, do I know? And then they looked at me and they went, "Yeah, we know who you are. We want to talk to Mike, the sound guy."
I was just as baffled as you were, man. I'm like, what? Okay, all right, cool, right
Yeah,
on.
it was pretty amazing to watch Mike get recognized. So that's a shabiggle. So I want to bring up here a great friend that I've had a really long time. He's been on the show, and I had the greatest moment. We're driving here. It was me, my daughter, and we're driving here with a friend, and I'm explaining to the person I'm with, man, wait till you meet Joe Sib. I go, he's a 55-year-old guy that talks like a 17-year-old surfer, and I go, and he always brings the greatest energy. He's always like, dude, bro, rad. Are we stoked? Yo, we're wedging. Bro, this place is amazing. It's stoked. Oh my God, I'm so hot. So I explained to the driver, I go, wait till you meet this guy. You're going to love the guy. Bro, sick, cool. All of a sudden, the phone rings. I went, oh my God, it's Joe Sib. First thing out of his mouth, dude, bro, wait till you get to this hotel. I thought it was Budge. And I'm like, Budge? I thought it was Low Budge. Bro, this place, mimosa, when you walk in, stoked. This place rocks it. Please welcome a great friend. He also helps run my entire merchandise. The merchandise man. And the opening show for tonight, Mr. Joe Sib, everybody.
Bro, what up?
Joe.
What I thought when I got here, I thought it was gonna suck. I didn't know that. Yeah, you can take. Yeah, So when I got here, I didn't know. I thought it was gonna be like that place we went to at Largo. Do you guys remember that? And I was like, that was the worst. I was scared when I was there.
We did a show.
Dude.
We did a show with Katie in Largo.
Katie tried to kill us.
I thought it was a meth place. I really did. I thought it was like where they cook meth.
No.
And it was one of those, are you here for the Breuer show? Go down this dirt road, make a left, and give 2 winks, and then go past, and we'll let you in.
I said,
although it went great.
It was great, but
yes.
But when we got there, Jim said, hey, if you haven't eaten, do not leave the venue. Do not leave the venue. And I was like, why? And he's like, as you would say, it's sketchy. It's very sketchy.
No, it was like when you go to resort, maybe in like certain places, like let's say Honduras, or you go. No, have you ever been like a what are they called? Like the all-inclusive places?
Yeah, the place where you're like get your food, beer, all of it together.
And when you show up, they go, just don't leave the resort.
Yeah.
And you go, why?
Well,
is everything
people
cool?
with rifles protecting you. There's a lot of rifles.
And the barbed wire fence. That was our gig in Largo.
But not here.
Katie. Yeah,
but
but
when
not
I
here.
got here yesterday,
You were stoked.
I called him and I called Katie, and I was freaking out because I was like blown away. First of all, I ran into Thomas right when I got here, and I was like, yes, and then they gave me candy, and I never.
It's easy to please Joe Sib, by the way. If you need.
It was saltwater taffy. I was stoked. I was like, yes. And then I called you and I was like, dude, you're going to be so stoked when you get here.
Yeah. So tonight, if you're not part of the rooftop silent disco and you need to sneak in, it's going to be impossible unless you got some candy for Joe Sib. He's easy to bribe. He's easy to get in there. Joe.
Yes.
I noticed for the first time, I just saw your shirt, your first shirt
John's
ever.
wearing it right there.
Look at John. He's got he's got the Joe Sib shirt.
All right. I mean,
are they here?
Look, there's right there. Yeah, we're selling.
There's another one.
Yeah.
Oh, they're here.
Yeah.
I don't know if that bothers me that you're selling more shirts than me.
No, I'm not. Hey,
and by the way, I'm kidding because me and Joe, we create the shirts and we share all with one another. And technically,
you made money off that right there.
I'm making money off that, and I helped you create it.
Yeah. You know that's funny though is that because a long time ago when Jim, I don't know if you remember this. Remember when I used to sell? It was so long ago. I sold the CDs.
Yeah.
And I remember one time we were out when Jim was selling, got merchandise, and I had the CDs, and he's like, dude, no one's buying CDs. What are you doing? And I'm like, they're not going to sell. He's like, no one's going to buy them. You got to get something else. And I was like, what am I going to do? And then when it came around, the shirt idea, you were like, you should do a shirt.
No, I know what happened. We started going on the road, and I sell shirts and stuff. But Joe, I had Monty, who's an Australian comedian. And
Monty Franklin, amazing.
And he absolutely murders with this little. He's got this little koala bear, like a racer that you put on a pencil.
First of all, Monty is like 6'2", Australian, the best. He's so good looking. Everyone loves him.
Every chick looks at him.
That's why we don't bring him anymore.
Yeah, he's out. He's done with the rest of the tours. Just don't even stare at his acting. Oh my God, he's beautiful. He's so what? And then he talks like this, how's the set? And by the way, after the show, ladies, I'll be selling this little kangaroo. And it's only, and he says, and proceeds, I'm sure they do. They go to koala bears over there in Australia. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah. I need a proceed.
He seriously, he will sell. I'm not kidding. He will sell. He'll come up to me afterwards and go, how'd you do on the koalas? He's like, mate, I made $5,000. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And I'm like, don't tell anybody that.
Yeah. He was making more in the night than I was getting paid for the entire gig.
It's true. It's totally true.
So Joe, then you were like,
we got to get something.
Dude, bro, you know what I need? I need like a magnet. Yeah. I need like a little magnet. And you had the magnet.
Yeah.
And,
you were a fan of the magnet.
I hated the magnet.
He hates the magnet.
I hate you know what? I hate sales pitches. You would finish the show and you're like, hey, I got a magnet. I'm like, oh my God.
Well, dude, you got to tell them how the one time Josh Blue was like, when I was bringing you on stage, he's like, oh, you got to tell the story about how he told me. What he said to me.
All right, so for those of you who don't know, Josh Blue, very funny comedian. He's got cerebral palsy. Not that matters, but it may go, oh, I know who you're talking about. And he was on,
I think he won
America's Got Talent or something.
America's Got Talent. America, yeah.
First of all,
Comic Stand,
Last Comic Standing, that's right. So Josh Blue comes to our show in Colorado. And
oh, God.
First of all,
I remember this part now.
And first of all, he tells me a story about touring with Ron White. And I never laughed so hard in my life. He goes, now I'm not making fun of anyone with cerebral palsy. I just reenact what I hear. So Josh talks with a slur and he goes, and when he looks hammered, see the way I look all the time? He's 10 times worse. He's 10 times worse. And I don't know if he's open about.
I don't know if he wants everyone to know about what happened on the tour with Ron.
No, I'm telling it. I'm telling it.
All right.
No, I'm telling it.
It's a great story.
No. So he goes, Ron White asked me to go on tour. And I went, oh my God, it's amazing. And he goes, but he hasn't been on a tour for a while because his tour manager passed away. I went, oh. He goes, yeah, he was with him for like 25 years. And he goes, he asked me to do 15, 20 minutes a night. And he goes, which is amazing because I do an hour to an hour 20, so 15. I'm like, oh, cool. He goes, well, then I got on the tour bus. And the tour bus, he goes, have you ever been on Ron White's tour bus? I went, no. He goes, and the way he's like, it's all brand new carpeting on the ceiling, all white couch, white chairs, and Ron likes to have a lot of drinks. He goes, so I started having some drinks too, join the tour. He goes, but after 3-4 wines, he has a name for he's got cerebral palsy, so if he drinks too much, his one hand starts shaking. He goes, well, we'll call it Mr. Lefty. Mr. Lefty got excited and started flipping the red wine all over. And he goes, and then I dropped the bottle and it smashed and it splattered the entire. Right. So he goes, so that wasn't a good way to start off the tour. Then, wait a minute. Huh? Oh, no, we get to it. Then he goes, so then I like smoking marijuana. And I said, you know what, Ron? And I'm cleaning it. And Ron's like, hey, just don't worry about it, kid. Would you? Don't worry. Well, I'll get someone to clean it. No big deal. Just don't worry about it. He goes, thank you, man. He goes, is it okay if I smoke marijuana? He goes, sure. Just. He goes, well, then, Mr. Hand is all humped up. And I dropped the bowl while it was lit. And it burned a hole in the carpet. And he goes, so we get past that. He goes, now we're doing all the shows. And at every Ron White show, he has 3 dressing rooms. And when there's performers in a dressing room, you have the one room that, hey, I want green M&M, whatever you ask for. I asked for coffee and water. But
yeah, every time they're like, what does Jim want? We want to take care of him. We got IPAs, we got wine,
dude.
We'll bring everything. And I'm like, he just wants coffee,
dude. I worked one of the events that Jim worked at. I worked at the theater, and I got his itinerary, what he wanted for the room, and it was like peanuts and something else. And I called you on the phone. I'm like, dude, do you want these peanuts? And you're like, do you want them? I'm like, not really. He's like, fucking take them. I don't care.
Yeah. I think the Asian always puts something on there. I just want coffee and water. That's all I care. So in Ron White's room, he has what he asked for. And then the opener, which is Josh Blue, has what he says he loves Bud Light before what went down. Okay? This is pre-Bud Light commercial scandal. And he goes, but I was always and he goes, in another room, there was a third room with another bucket of ice and Bud Light bottles in there with like some snacks. He goes, so after every show, Ron goes up for an hour and a half. I'm done in 20 minutes. So I'm smoking and I drink I'm always done with my Bud Light. And I'd always walk past this one room and the beer would always just be there at the end of the night. I said, what a waste. So after the second week, I said, screw it. I went in the other room and I drank all of the beer. And then I was really, really messed up because I drank like 12 beers and I was high. And then Ron White and his new road manager stopped and stared at me in silence. And I said, is everything okay? And they looked at me and they said, I guess he found Steve's room. And I said, who's Steve? And they said, that's our old road manager, and this was a memorial to him every time we went. Right. And I go, oh, shoot, was he mad? He goes, well, I don't do any more Ron White days, I'll tell you that. So he comes to the show, and then you take what he said.
Well, he came to the show, and the best part was Jim was like, "Hey, I want to have Josh come out and do some time, Yeah. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, Joe, you go up. I did my set, and when I was up on stage, I had the magnet, and I was bringing up Jim, and I used to be like, okay, everybody, blah blah blah, and I would take too long because everyone's there to see Jim, and I would take too long with the magnet sale. And Jim had been so cool. He never said anything about it.
I would never say anything.
Never said
Joe
anything.
would finish his set. He'd go, hey, all right, did you like me? Like, imagine going to see
you like me.
Okay, I know that.
Thanks, everyone. That was really fun. And okay, all right, I got these magnets where I'm supposed to go. All right, you guys, let's get to the main event. Jim Breuer, and he's chomping.
Well, it's not me. If I go to an event, I go to any event, the minute the opening act is done, I don't want to hear you talk ever again. It's like, Okay, it's done. Great. This is great. It's done. Oh, shoot. Now he's talking. God.
But he
How
never
long is
said
he
that.
talking? So
For
I
like,
didn't. I never say
he was
anything.
always, he would always go like this.
I was
I could
too
tell
kind.
sometimes when I shook his hand, he might look at me a little different, like, but dude, we'd be in a car for hours the next day and he wouldn't say a word.
No.
And literally in three minutes after I came off stage, Josh came around and goes, hey, you can't, he was ready to go. And why would you take so long? Don't do that anymore. And I was like, all right. And then he's like, I'm not, he's like, you can't, he's ready to go. You don't see that. And I was like, Josh, really? He goes, yeah. Hasn't he ever said anything to you? And I go, no. And Josh saw, well, I said it for him. I was like, all right. But then, so me and Josh right away, yeah. I love him. And right away we bond. But I'll tell you this, man, Jim just said, hey, Joe, have Josh ready to go after I'm done with this bit. So normally you'd hang out in the green room and, drink a couple beers. Josh is like, hey, I want to go outside. I don't like to hang out in the green room. I'm like, outside? We go outside. He has
I forgot about this.
6 beers. I'm not kidding you guys.
Oh, yeah.
He has 6 beers. He has a pipe. He has weed. And he's the whole time Jim's on for an hour. Dude, he never stopped. I was looking at him and he's smoking, he's drinking, he's telling me all these great stories. And I kept walking in and I'm like, okay, Jim's been on 30 minutes. He's been on 40 minutes. We get to an hour. I come back. He's got another 6 beers.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm telling, I kid you guys not.
Yeah.
He wasn't any different
No.
at all. He was fine.
No.
He was fine.
I think we have the cure for his disease. I think he found it.
I don't know. I had like 3 beers with him and I was like, I got to tighten it up.
Yes.
And then I go,
Oh,
okay,
wait, this is great.
Josh, I go, I'm going to tell you when it's time. And so I go inside and then, he goes, hey, do you think it'll be funny if I take all these beer cans and I put them in my jacket so when I come out and Jim brings me, I'll drop them all over the stage? And in my head, I'm like, I don't know if Jim's going to dig that, but let's do it. Yeah, that'll be cool. And he puts them all over his, shirt and everything. And then I remember you're like, all right, Josh. And he came out. And
wait a minute, but didn't he play a trick on you that night?
Oh, that was when monkeypox was going on.
Yeah.
Dude. Oh, God, that's right. Oh, my God. Dude, it freaked me out, bro. I was sitting there.
Wait, before you even say anything, you got to understand, Joe does not do he doesn't do marijuana. He'll have a drink here and there. So
I like a martini. I like bourbon.
Yeah, every once in a while,
tequila.
I'm constantly like, you want a little edible cookie? So whenever he comes,
no.
Whenever he's on the road, he's like, bro, can I eat this? I'm like, Joe, I would never leave something out that you can just eat and start tripping an hour from now. Why would I? Well, I don't know, dude. I don't know. You like to mess with people.
No, because we'll get in the car and you have all the treats right there and I'll go to eat one. I'm like, could it be that treat?
No, it's because I messed him up once. One time I said, oh, you're going to be fun in about an hour. And you went, dude.
That's my nightmare. That is my nightmare. Seriously.
I said, it's not going to be bad. It's just you trip. He's like, dude, serious?
Nightmare.
And every 15 minutes I go, do you feel it yet?
Dude.
I
don't like that. I don't like that.
It's
not
cool.
Like it.
It's not cool.
So Josh.
So
I'm sitting there with Josh and we're drinking beers and I keep checking in on what time he's going to go in. And then this server from the club came out and the guy came out and for some reason Josh saw, okay, hey man, thank you. You can put the beers there. And I'm like, and I'm talking to the kid that's giving us the beers and whatever. And we both drink our beers and he puts the beers there and the guy walks away. And then I grab my beer and I take a sip. And as I go to take a sip, he goes, hey, don't drink that. And I go, why? He goes, I'm pretty sure the server has monkeypox. And I go, are you serious? And he goes, yeah, he was sweating. And the other server, when you were gone, said that someone has it. And I was like, dude, are you serious right now? And then he looks at me, he's all, no. Lights up another bowl.
Oh, yeah.
And that night then he comes out, him and Jim do a bit together. They crush it. Whole club, it's Denver, so everyone loves Josh.
Because he's from there.
He's from there.
Yeah.
Everyone's so excited. And then after all of that, I remember Josh was like, "What do you guys want to go out?" And we went out, and he did the same thing at the bar. Just
I don't know how he.
I don't know. And later, see you guys.
Baffles my mind how any human being can take that much. So
he killed it.
I want to bring up here a great friend. I've known him since high school. He's going to be performing inside, playing some tunes as you go in and sit down, wait for the show. And I perform at the Paramount in Long Island once every 4 months. It's my favorite gig in the entire country. It's a beautiful theater. And I've been asking people nonstop, hey, if you want to play guitar or whatever, go in there. I go, it'd be kind of cool if you can. They're not paying attention to you. They don't expect anything.
Can I tell them how?
Yeah.
Wait. The way it really goes down is we were having dinner on a Friday before a show at the Paramount, and this young kid's playing all these songs, right?
Yeah.
And he's up there, and Jim and I are having a couple drinks. Monty's with us. We're all like, "Yeah, this is killer."
Loving Jimmy is in rare form.
He's got 2 martinis in him, and this kid plays this Oasis song. You know the band Oasis?
Yeah.
And Jim goes, "I hate that band. I can't stand it." And then I go, and he's saying it loud. He goes, "But I love this kid's version of this song." And the kid goes, oh, he's like sitting there. And then after the show, it was like full mafia. We asked the kid, we're all, come over to the table. And he comes over.
Tell the kid to come over. I want to talk to him.
And the kid comes over. He comes over with his guitar. And Jim just looks at him and goes,
how would you like to play the Paramount
tomorrow
in front of 1,200 people tomorrow? You like that, kid?
And the kid's just
look at me like, wow, what are you talking about? I'm like, oh, I'm being dead serious. In the morning, I'm like, did I tell him?
Yeah. Like that night, the kid's like, what time do I need to be there? What song should I play? And all that stuff. So that's how we started having musical guests.
And he was good.
He was great.
He was great.
He was great. But I'm telling you guys tonight, man, I got to get the guy you're going to hear tonight, you're going to love.
And the coolest part was Katie goes, oh my God, I just started crying listening to him doing the sound check. You said that too. Like, what?
Oh, dude, he was playing Fleetwood Mac. You know that song? People get older. And I was just like, oh, I was just crying.
Yeah.
Jimmy Shaka is a legend. Thank you guys for having me.
Please
Thank you
welcome.
so much,
Don't go too far away.
I won't. Thank you.
All right. Please welcome my high school friend, dear soul friend, Jimmy Shaka. For those of you listening to the podcast, you all can know him as the Bunker Friend. What's up, Jimbo?
What's going on? Joe Sib. I absolutely love Joe Sib. Joe Sib knows the secret of life. Appreciation.
Yes.
All right. Absolutely. He knows the secret of life.
Well, you came in, and me and Joe, it was the first, I've known you my whole life. And our whole life. It started in high school. If it wasn't for Shaka, I most likely wouldn't be really going after stand-up comedy or anything else, because you were the one that came to me in high school. And what happened was we had a skit night. Right?
Yeah, 11th grade, 10th, 11th, 12th grade,
right,
competing against each other,
right,
for the
the sketches and all that jazz. But I, at the time, loved Eddie Murphy, so I would walk all over the hallways going, hey, I'm Eddie Murphy, I'm gummy, damn it. And if I did that today, I'd be I was thrown in canceled camp. But I would imitate Eddie Murphy all day. I would imitate Richard Pryor all day. Do you remember I'd run down the hallways pretending to smash my head into the lockers?
Into the lockers, yeah.
So I'd run all the way down the hallway, and I do a total you couldn't see. I was a professional. I would look like I'm smashing my head into the locker, and it would go, and everyone would turn around. I'm like, I'm all right. So as a clown, but Shaka goes, Breuer, you got to be in sketch night. And I went, I'm not doing that fairy ass acting nonsense with those freaky, geeky
nerds.
And you went, dude, no, it's because I had a denim jacket with Judas Priest on. That was way too cool for that. Way too cool to be hanging out with geeks like that. And you go, no, dude, you got to do, just meet them. And you introduced me to them. And we basically, it was very close to, it was Noah's Ark.
It was Noah's Ark, and I said, but do Noah as Eddie Murphy.
As Eddie Murphy.
Right. Which right there, you know, you can't go wrong. Jim Breuer doing Noah's Ark as Eddie Murphy. Right.
So you're like, Cubit, hey, your ass. I ain't doing no Cubit. You know, doing the whole thing.
Right.
Which then we later found out was a Cosby bit.
Right.
Which we didn't even know. But what happened was the crowd went so berserk. I went from the quiet, funny kid in the back of the class that was also shy, and I would always let loose only in front of my close friends, to the next day, I mean, like, every chick you ever had a crush was like, hi, Jim Brewer, you're so funny. Every dude that I was ever intimidated was like, dude, you got to come to our party. We didn't know you were pissa. I'm like, what is going on right now? Pissa. And then the next night, they were chanting for me to come out. And I came out and they went berserk. And I have to say, I think that was the first real bug. And that you would perform gigs at this little tiny rock club called February's. And Jimmy would do all these Aerosmith songs. And you're like, Jimbo, go up and MC and tell some jokes in between.
Right. Come up, open up. I said, open up for us.
Yeah.
Right?
In front of all three people from our high school.
Right.
Right.
And
I remember the first bit. Well, you remembered it too. I did. First one was, it was Live Aid, and I went, hey, so how about that Live Aid? When the best part is when they threw an Ethiopian on stage and Ozzy bit his head off. Remember that?
That's a good bit.
Right. And then
then you had this bit, something about driving on your bicycle. And you're like, because everyone had long hair back in the
80s.
day. We're 80s.
Yes.
Everyone had long hair, right? And something about driving by. Yeah, I'm gonna pinch this girl's ass.
Wow,
right?
what a hot! Look at the ass on this chick. Look at the ass. Oh shoot, that was a guy. And that was.
Right.
I thought I was so brilliant.
Right.
I thought that was like, when I get discovered with stand-up comedy like this, it's just lights out. But yeah, man.
But you know what? That. Just that belief alone, look where we are.
Look where we are.
Guys.
True Brew Weekend, baby.
Jim Brewer, it's a powerful thing.
So one of the things that I thought was interesting that Joe brought up, because you come on the podcast in the bunker section where we go in the conspiracy world and the deeper world, which, by the way, Shaka has been on this since high school. I could not. Back in the day, I'd get stoned with Shaka, and I'd be like, I can't go that far out. I don't know where you're going. You're like, no, you don't understand in the future and AI and then this and that. I'm like, you have been on everything that exists today for your entire lifetime, and that blows my mind.
Right.
So one of the things we were talking about went, you don't understand. So we went on a sunset cruise last night with some of the Patreon members, right? And we're like, dude, you understand? Like, you're gonna get recognized as the bunker guy,
like the conspiracy guy.
Yeah, and you ended up talking.
Oh my God, so many people. Like, I loved meeting everybody. You guys were so awesome. Angela's a Reiki master over here. Wendy.
Yes.
California.
Yes. But
Kevin.
Yes.
North Carolina.
Yep. The whole crew.
Yep.
This banana. But you started.
Even John.
But you started going. They started going into. I noticed they started getting into. They were fascinated. There was 2 or 3 guys that were really fascinated. Like, do you know about this? And do you know about this?
Right.
And then, dude, you're like a guru. And then the kid, which you'll never see. We call him the kid. There are cameras everywhere, and I don't even know where they are. This kid,
just like the rest of the world,
you'll see it. You may see him inside. we started touring with him in Metallica, which I'll tell Joe. I think I got a new bit to bring him on the podcast. We call him the Kid. He's a professional film guy and editor, and a lot of videos that you see online are filmed by the Kid. And the Kid is going through some stuff right now. He's going through some I shouldn't put his personal life out there. But long story short, today I wake up and this kid never talks. Yeah. And he's like, Shaka. This kid does not talk. He just goes, Shaka was very helpful. I go, what do you mean? He goes, very helpful with me last night. I go, what? Just the things that are going on in life. And he did. Those words was like 3 years of him talking. So I don't know what you said to him, but you infiltrated the kid's heart. And
we were what were we talking? We were just
girlfriends.
talking about like he said something like, yeah, I'm over it. I'll leave it at that. Talked about a situation, said I'm over it. Yeah. Right. And just his eyes went that way or something like that. And I'm like, no, you're not.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, I just basically said, like, feel it and heal it. Like, that's kind of my mantra, right? Like, what were we talking about? We were talking about.
I know what you're talking about. I just don't know if he wants it revealed.
All right. So we won't.
Which
we won't
I
say
shouldn't
too
have
much,
put you in that position. Here, Shaka, talk about it. Never mind. That's on me.
Psychology.
Yeah, that's on me. It's like I was like, yeah, talk about it. No, don't talk about it.
No. And then Joe Sib said the same thing this morning. That he's like, dude, I woke up in the middle of the night and I thought about what you said.
Yes.
I'm like, wow.
No,
but
you've
cool. And it helped.
Yeah.
You know?
So we used to do a radio show together, and I thought the two of the coolest things I ever saw in my life was when Deepak Chopra came on.
Yeah.
And Deepak Chopra, back in the early 2000s, he was really like, that's when he was peaking. And he came on the show, and you went toe to toe with Deepak for 45 straight minutes. And he's like,
kid from Elmont.
Yeah, and that moment made me realize all of you in this room, and this has always been an important thing in my whole life, don't go up to celebrities, don't go up to anyone you think is more important than you and go, well, I'm just a little guy. Because I even say, even that little pebble thrown in a pond, you don't know how far out those ripples go. And here you were. And that was such a moment in time. Like, you have this guy, travels the world, heals all these people. And he was talking from us, blue collar, Elmont, South Shore, Long Island. Right. And he was blown away by you. As everyone would have said, just the little guy, the nobody guy. Right, so you just never know the impact you have on anyone. And to be honest with you, people like Shock and all of you has made the impact on me. And this is a little mind-boggling for me just to be here. So cheers to all you guys. Thank you.
And can I say one thing? Like, this crowd tonight, especially talking to some of these people, like, especially when we're doing the bunker and we're doing all that stuff, like, we're talking about, like, the dark side of life.
Yes.
And it's very easy to think that the dark is so big and so bad, but there are so many more good people in the world, and you guys prove it.
Yeah. And the minute you realize it,
we're just saying that.
Yeah. All you got to do is realize it. It's the numbers are, I can't even tell you, it's astronomical of how many people feel the same way. You just don't realize it because every day of your life you're infiltrated saying you're the little guy and everyone else is the big and everyone on the news is the bigger and they're not bigger. They're not even close to the amount of people that feel the same way in life. And we are connected.
100%.
We are connected way more. And that is the bigger fear of them is when we realize that and we overcome right. in the way that we will. When do you got to go? You got to go up soon?
I'm going, in about, I think 20 minutes, right? When they open the door.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So they open up at like 10 after 7:30. So make sure you guys are in there when Shaka gets up there. And please, for those of you going to the silent disco later.
All right, bro.
Are you coming to that?
What's that?
You coming to the silent disco?
Hell yeah.
Okay, we're going to get the silent disco. It's going to be fun.
All right.
And if you want to get deep stuff, you catch Shaka before he goes. Hey, Sibber. Hey, Joe. You good? I know you're selling merch over there. I'm sorry. You look hopped up. You okay?
I gotta say something.
Yeah.
Did I tell you that the Patreon members gave me a card?
What do you mean?
They gave me where's
All of
John?
them.
Dude,
John's right there. Yeah.
you guys gave me this card. And they wrote all these nice things in it.
Yes.
And I had
Yes.
what date was that? We meant to give that to Jim. That wasn't for you, Joe. But I read it last night, and I just want to say thank you guys so much, because I was in my room and I had 2 bourbons and I was really sad, and I was contemplating where I am at in my life, selling T-shirts, and at that moment I was like, I don't know if I'm really in the right place. And then I read what you guys wrote in the card, and it just really brought me back to not jumping out of the window. And I really thank you guys.
Yes.
So thank you.
You're welcome.
So nice. It was like really hard. It was nice
I know.
things. Super cool.
And I have to say, there's and listen, I don't want anyone to feel left out at all, but I'll just be honest and pay due where it should be done. As far as, so 100 episodes ago, this whole thing started with me just making a statement. And the statement was, hey, I'm not playing venues that will force any type of card or force you to get shot, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't really, it was a Facebook video. And I brought up God and like, God, I don't need specialists. God's my specialist. I know how he designed me and da-da-da. And, scientists or paid, whatever I said. I went on and on and on. I'm like, I'm not giving into it, and nor should you. Well, all I remember is my agent going, this is picking up a lot of traction. I went, what is the video? He goes, yeah, it's going to be on the news. I went, how do you know that? He goes, oh no, it's definitely, we already see it. I'm like, what do you mean we already see it? And then I had, guys like Keith Olbermann, who's very respected. No, you know what? I'm being negative. I take that back.
You know
Keith,
what the best thing about you is?
wait, Keith, you're a wonderful man. I used to love you on ESPN. And I'm sure you've got a good heart before they pay you that paycheck to say the things you must say. You will do what I say when I say what I paid for. Hey, everybody. Anyway, with that said, getting off the rails here.
We haven't even done the show yet.
No, I had a
fun.
I had a comedy special. It was called Somebody Had to Say It, and we were working it out literally intense during COVID.
Soul Joel's in the tent,
and I was blown out of my mind because I was pretty intense. I was comparing things to Nazis and calling it for how I saw it, trying to make it funny. But I was also shocked how many people were right there with me with the thought process. So we filmed the special. Joe and I went on tour with Metallica. The Metallica production crew did it for me. I mean, I had to pay them, but they did an incredible job. And I had it on a platform. And the platform was amazing. And we had a prepayment thing for like $3.99. We already had about, I think, 20. We announced it in 1 week. We had 2,800 emails ready for prepay. And then the video. And then 4 days later, like, yeah, no, we can't. We can't air this. I went, why? He goes, listen. And they were honest. The guy was honest. He said, listen, Jim, big fan. There's a lot of money involved here. If we air what you want to air, we're looking at losing 50 million to 100 million with some of the other musician acts and what's being demanded. We can't have a guy like you saying that. It would literally take down, it's not good for us. And he went, I said, where else can I go? He goes, well, there's one other thing, but they're also owned by the same gang. I'll say people. I'll just leave it as that, and I'll talk to you all in private later. And so, with that said, I had to start. I said, oh, you know what? I'll start a Patreon page. That's the culprit. A Patreon page. And I'll do it. Hold on. They still, I got to be very careful here. Wait. Well, okay, here. So, okay, you can have it back. I've never seen anyone so, okay, here we go.
Remember, Jim, this is live. We can't take it back.
This is true, but I'll do this. They didn't see it, so I'll do it above my head. Who controls more than you can ever imagine.
Boo.
I'm just saying it's a lockdown on many, if not all, entertainment. So
Can I add one thing?
Yes,
No,
are you scared right now? I'm sorry.
No, I'm not scared.
What?
I didn't eat any of your candy. I'm fine. No, I am going to say this.
Yes.
We had worked so hard on the special.
Yes, you were very helpful.
And when it went down, I was so bummed. I was so pissed.
Yes.
And we were all on the same phone call. And I was like, what are we going to do? You know, where can we release this thing? And this is, I was so pissed. And this guy wasn't pissed.
No.
I remember
I understood.
and he was on the phone with the guy, and the guy that was talking to him, he felt bad. And Jim was like, I remember your exact words were like, you're like, don't worry about it. It's all, dude, I get it. It's all good. And I remember right then, I didn't know where he was going to put it out or how it was going to come out. But I just go, I guess it's going to happen the way it's supposed to happen, because he just was like, you know what, we'll figure it out. And I'm like, aren't you pissed? And he's like, no. I'm like, are you sure? And he's like, no. And then he just went on to the next thing. So this weekend we should, I'm like, all right. And I was so blown away by that. No, I don't, you didn't take it personally.
No, I don't take it personally. I know as time moves on, everyone's tied to something, and sometimes they feel their hands are tied and they have to make decisions from the situation they're in. It's not easy. So I didn't blame them. I wasn't angry. I just went, how do we get around this? And we started the podcast. I went, oh, this will allow me to be heard in different ways. And it's not just stand-up comedy. We could talk and we can start a community and see how many people feel the same way, and if we have the same thought process. And then that turned into the Patreon page. If you ordered it, then from there, you get the special. And then after that, they were like, hey, listen, you got all your money back. It took months, but I'm like, oh, I got my money back. I'm like, well, I love doing this, and I love the Patreon. And I kept wanting to give them more and more and more. And I didn't know what to give them. I said, how about we do live shows once a month? How about what if we do like a Zoom? Christine, one of the she goes, hey, why don't you get the Patreon members do like a Zoom? And I said, oh my God, let's do a Zoom and we'll talk. And then that turned into about a year ago. When was that, John? When was the barbecue?
February this year.
So February of this year, a couple of the Patreon guys and girls said, Jim, I know that you're working out material in Tampa, which is I work out a lot in Tampa. They said, we're all flying in from all different states to meet each other and hang out. I'm like, what? What do you mean you're hanging out? They're like, no, dude, we're hanging out. This one, we're getting this lady out of her house. She doesn't fly anywhere anymore, and we want her. And then this one's like, well, I can try. And then they all connected, and they said, well, we're going to do a barbecue. And it was at Johnny's over here, and Johnny had a friend. And then we went to the barbecue, and I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know if I was going to get whacked. I didn't know if it was.
He was tripping.
I was tripping.
He was like,
I'm like, what am I doing? I'm going over. Like, what's going on? Is this a setup? Is this real? What are we doing?
While we were driving there, it was me, you, and the kid. Hey, it was me, you, and the kid. And we're driving there, and Jim's like, I mean, could this be a setup? I mean, what do you think? And I'm like, well, I don't know. We're a part of it if it goes on. And yeah, well, we were driving over there. And then I was like, what's the barbecue going to be like? He's like, I don't know. The guy says it's going to be real barbecue. And I did not anticipate what it was.
And we got there.
The dirt road.
Down a dirt road. Oh, this is a Goodfellas scene. This is when De Niro's going, no, it's down there. Go right down there. Go pick out whatever you want. No, right down the dirt road. No, I'm good. And next thing you know, it was just real people, real conversations. They had all these things from bits of mine. Like they took this little bit I do, which maybe I'll do tonight, Fat Jimmy. And they had placemats saying Fat Jimmy approved, which was Angela. So tonight you'll see all those things all over, and technically
all the food over there is Fat Jimmy approved. We got pretzels, chicken tenders, all the
chicken
stuff you
tenders, all the wings, all the things that Joe shoves down my throat after a show, and I say I don't want it. And next thing you know, I'm 2 martinis in and 4 pretzels and wings in. So
that was the first time too that we all hung out and we all played wiffle ball. Remember that?
That wasn't a real game. We'll get a real game going. Oh, by the way, real quick.
Yes.
So 2 things. One, it was because of that which made me spark to do a whole weekend, which is why we're here. So I want to thank all of you. I want to thank that crew, John and the gang and Travis and his wife and everyone for being a part of that and making me go, man, let's make this bigger and wider. Now, on a different note, I got a new way to introduce the kid into the show. Yeah, someone's getting high.
Is someone smoking weed?
Yeah,
right
someone's
now?
smoking weed.
I'm going to try it.
No, you're not.
I'm going to try it.
No, you're not.
I want to see what it's like to do it and then go on stage. Is that a good way to do it?
No, I wouldn't. I highly wouldn't suggest that. Maybe at the silent disco. Maybe.
Okay. I'm not trying it, so don't. I know all you guys are like, we're going to give it to you.
Yeah, so we'll introduce it now.
Okay.
So with the kid.
Yeah.
So this kid he's on tour with us in Metallica. He's 21 years old, filming everything. He don't know. When I say he knows nothing, he knows nothing. To the point where, so before every Metallica show, I'd go up and Joe would be playing music and we'd interact with each other and we warm the crowd up. And the kid would capture everything. So one of the shows, Metallica, the Foo Fighters are coming.
Yeah.
And Joe actually knows
Chris Shiplett. Yep.
Who used to play in your band and you're still best friends.
Yeah, we're bros.
So I go, Joe, can we get the Foo Fighters on camera tonight live? And can we get, because I've met them too. I've met them and hung out, blah, blah, blah. And you come in like, dude, it's all set. Foo Fighters, Dave Grohl's in.
Taylor, all of them.
Taylor, we're going to, before Metallica goes up, we'll get the camera. It's going to go crazy. So I turned to the kid. I went, now listen to me. You got to make sure your cameras are locked and loaded because this is the Foo Fighters. I want them when they arrive. When I walk in, I want their faces. And he just looks at me with all the innocence in the world, and he goes, "Are they popular?" I said, "You being serious right now?"
The best part about the kid was
I said, "What?"
He started listening to Metallica once he was on tour with them.
Yes.
He had never listened. We were at the gym one day. He goes, I kind of like Metallica. I'm like,
yeah.
The band we're on tour with?
I said, have you heard any songs? I don't think so. But then, so with the Foo Fighters, he goes, so are they popular? So then we have a game. We're going to start the kid off with a game show. We're going to name people, like certain people you think he should know. Like, I don't think he knows Al Pacino.
Probably not.
I don't think he's ever heard the movie like Scarface. We should come up with things that we think are iconic, whether it's with your age or just in general. And we play, does the kid know this or does he not know this?
I think it should be called, does the kid know or are we old? Like, I think.
Yes! I like that better. Yeah. Does the kid know or are we old? All right, we got to wrap things up. Joe, thank you.
Thank you so much,
big round of applause for Joe Sibb. He's going to go up a little bit. And don't forget, after the show, we do have a Q&A. So like as soon as I end, and we stop, and I think that's for everyone. I don't think we clear the room. Yeah, no, I believe that's for everyone. So there'll be a Q&A after. So if the mic comes to you, just be ready. Some specific, whatever you want to say, but don't be shy about any question. I'm open to almost everything. Katie, is it for everyone? The Q&A? The Q&A after the show. It is for everyone. Okay. So we'll see you inside. I want to thank you. I've never been in front of people doing the podcast, so this is kind of cool. It's great to see you guys. I'm happy for Fruit of the Earth. By the way, you all have a little thing of aloe on every one of your tables. On every one of your tables inside. And listen, I talk about things before. Did they give us some sponsorship? Yes, but not until long after I showed them how burnt I was and I talked about them on the podcast. It really was, that thing saved my life. The picture, you see the picture of me fried somewhere around here. That's a real picture. That's not enhanced. I wasn't painted red. That was a horrifying jackass moment in my life. And I just doused myself with the Fruit of the Earth, and I didn't blister, and I survived. So I want to thank Mike, the sound guy. I want to thank Katie Smith for setting this whole thing up. Knockout Productions and everyone here. The staff has been amazing at the hotel. Absolutely everyone part of the Art Ovation Hotel for hosting True Brew Weekend. And we'll see you inside with some stand-up comedy in a little bit. Thanks for hanging out on the Breuniverse. We'll see you next time.
This is Jim Breuer, and I got my own Patreon page, and hopefully you'll check it out. Live comedy concert streamed once a month. Weekly, you host your own podcast, and you interview me. Early access to the Breuniverse podcast every single week, and have bonus footage and bonus segments. I promise you I'm not going to let you down. Go check out my official Jim Breuer Patreon page, and I'll see you there.